Korean combatants. By request, I am going to be by one of my viewers who asked me to react to the MKX comics. Today I will be reacting to the MKX comics. So without further ado, let's get into this.
What's up, combatants, and welcome back to another installment of the complete history of Mortal Kombat. Today we're going to take a look at the storyline of the Mortal Kombat universe after the NetherRealm War, but before Shinnok's return in MKX. This is the storyline that takes place during the Mortal Kombat X comics that acts as the prologue to the game itself. The two main story beats in this timeline are the Outworld Civil War and the events that brought upon the creation of the Reiko Accords. We are going to be covering the majority of the Mortal Kombat X comics, so I expect this video to be a little bit longer than my other ones. Now before we dive in, if you enjoy learning more about Mortal Kombat lore and story, then head on over to my channel MK Temple, subscribe and click the bell to get notifications every time a new video posts. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. Now just for a quick recap, in my last video I talked about Shinnok's failed invasion and the defeat at the hands of Johnny Cage. He was imprisoned within his amulet, and the amulet was locked away in a dark dimension. The only way to retrieve the amulet would be by using the 6 Kamidogu daggers, which the Elder Gods entrusted to Raiden. Raiden gave a dagger to 6 champions to guard. He kept the Kamidogu of Order under his own guidance within the Sky Temple. Jax received the Kamidogu of Earth, Kotal Khan held the Kamidogu of Outworld, Shujinko guarded the Kamidogu of Chaos, and Scorpion had the Kamidogu of Edenia. The last dagger somehow fell in the hands of the Red Dragon clan. After Shinnok's loss and imprisonment, Quan Chi sought out the Cleric of Chaos Havoc and formed an alliance with him. Quan Chi granted Havoc with the ability to perform powerful blood magic. In return, Havoc would retrieve Shinnok's amulet and deliver it to Quan Chi. With his new ability, Havoc cursed the 6 Kamidogu daggers. The daggers already had the ability to greatly enhance the power of anyone cut by them, but now the wielders would also become possessed by Havoc himself. In order to get all of the Kamidogu daggers in his possession, Havoc needed a strategy.
That's not bad.
He began his manipulation on Reiko, Shao Kahn's former general and genius tactician, long before his deal with him.
Now, before I forget to mention, this doesn't mean that the Kamidogu are the daggers. They're just called the Kamidogu daggers. They're not actually the Kamidogu. The Kamidogu probably still exists in this, in the NRS continuity, so don't take it with a grain of salt.
Quan Chi. Havoc created a false prophecy for Reiko, telling him Reiko's blood reigns, communicating with him through a statue. The false prophecy had the general believing he was meant to rule as Emperor of Outworld, something Reiko already longed for. After Khan's defeat, Reiko believed he had nothing else to live for, and contemplated suicide. Havoc appeared to him and told him that his blood will reign, but first it must run. Havoc cut Reiko with a knife, imbuing him with blood magic and great power. Raiden sent Sub-Zero, Kuai Liang, on a mission to retrieve the stolen NetherRealm Kamidogu.
Havoc to be fascinating.
The mission led Sub-Zero to a Red Dragon base.
Definitely would be a
there he was attacked by Kano, who was also infiltrating the base. Kano cut Sub-Zero with the dagger, causing him to become possessed. Sub-Zero managed to destroy Kano's cybernetic eye and escaped with the dagger in hand. Sub-Zero would go into hiding with the dagger for over a decade. More on his story will come later in the video. 7 years after Kenshi had left Takeda under the care of Scorpion, Takeda had now become a hard-trained Shirai Ryu ninja and made a friend and fellow student Forrest Fox. Raiden paid an unexpected visit to the Shirai Ryu headquarters, warning Scorpion of a powerful demon from another realm looking to manipulate Earthrealm warriors. The demon Raiden was referring to was the Chaos Realm, or Havoc. Raiden explained that due to the NetherRealm invasion, cosmic barriers that protected Earthrealm from other realms had been damaged, allowing this demon to break through. Raiden had to strengthen these barriers.
Oh, very interesting.
That night, Havoc spoke to Forrest Fox telepathically, manipulating him to use the dagger on himself. Possessed by the dagger's power, Fox cut his own face, poisoned Hanzo Hasashi, causing him to fall into a psychedelic trip, and silently assassinated every member of the clan except Takeda. Fox woke Takeda, revealing his horrific acts to him. Rage filled Hanzo Hasashi, causing him to transform into the Spectre Scorpion. Scorpion stabbed Fox with the Kamidogu, making him even more powerful than before. Fox told Scorpion that Raiden had never told him about the daggers and their connection with Quan Chi. But before he could finish his sentence, Fox's head was cut in two by Takeda. Takeda and Hanzo then burned all of the bodies of their fallen clan and left the Shirai Ryu temple with the Kamidogu in hand to get answers from Raiden. At the Sky Temple, Raiden was using the Kamidogu dagger of Order to enhance his own abilities and foresee events unfolding, unknowing that the dagger had been tainted and cursed. Now let's get caught up on Outworld's affairs, but in order to do so we're going to have to take a step back a few years to directly after Shao Kahn's defeat. Mileena would take the throne of Outworld. She served as its ruler for years until she was usurped by the Aztec warrior Coatl, known today as Kotal Khan. Kotal was in Melina's inner circle and planning an uprising with D'Vorah and Reptile. Mileena caught word of this treason and confronted Kotal with Baraka, Ermac, and the Tarkatan Horde. A fight ensued, resulting in D'Vorah killing Baraka and the Tarkatan Horde defeated. Ermac switched sides to Kotal and Mileena was imprisoned. But then Ermac kind of switched sides back to Mileena sometime later before eventually switching back again to Kotal. Yeah, this was a plot hole that was never really touched upon. Anyway, Mileena is later freed by Tanya, thus beginning her rebellion and driving Outworld into years of a civil war. Mileena remained in the shadows and grew in power, making new allies along the way.
I want to say, before continuing, the Outworld Civil War is a very fascinating plot point, and intended in my later
Flash forward to the
writings,
present, and in her corner, Mileena had the Adenians Rain and Tanya, the Tarkatan Horde, her new love interest Reiko, and cut a deal with the Red Dragon clan for their allegiance.
And my other timelines, like I'm going to do my own timeline that's separate from Midway and the NRS era, and focus on that, but I'm also going to be doing the Midway timeline, converting it into a story mode. And I must say, the Outworld Civil War has always fascinated me, and I think it should definitely be appearing in more stories. Before I continue on, I want to thank you for the request, as this was a wonderful idea. I do intend to do more reaction videos, so if anyone has any other ideas of things they want me to react to, please let it down in the comments below. I will be reacting to anything you request for MK lore. So, yeah, keep it going. Keep the requests and suggestions coming in. I like these kind of videos.
Unbeknownst to her, Reiko had planned to betray Mileena once she took back the throne. Mileena and Reiko secretly met with Goro, who was originally sent by Kotal to hunt down and eliminate Mileena. Mileena promised to return the Shogun to their former glory if Goro had allied with her. Goro agreed, and together they came upon a plan to defeat the Aztec. Word of the Red Dragon now working with Mileena reached Kotal. The Khan then traveled to Earthrealm with Erron Black and D'Vorah on a mission to ally with the US Special Forces. But tensions rose and a fight broke out between the Special Forces and Kotal's crew. Luckily, Raiden appeared to break up the scuffle. Kotal Khan retreated back to Outworld and told Raiden and Sonya that Outworld's pain would eventually be Earthrealm's if they did not cooperate. In Los Angeles, Cassie Cage and Jackie Briggs used Cassie's celebrity status to sneak into a 21 and over underground fight club. Cassie signed herself up for a match, unknowing that the fight was a death match. Her opponent? Frost. Frost quickly gained the upper hand in the fight, but Cassie eventually came out on top. The crowd and fight announcer shouted at Cassie to finish her opponent, as that would be her only way of escaping the cage. At that moment, the fight club ceiling exploded, and Black Dragon mercenaries Jarek and Tasia made their way through the crowd to get to Cassie and Jackie. The two girls took Frost and escaped the club, only to be pursued further by the Black Dragon. Knowing they wouldn't be able to escape capture, Cassie took a photo to leave as a paper trail. The two got sucked into a portal to Outworld as Cassie threw her phone on the ground for investigators to find. Back in Outworld, Kotal Khan gave his father, Kotal Ketz, Shao Kahn's Wrath Hammer and sent a small strike team headed by Ketz to search for Goro and continue the hunt for Mileena. When Ketz and his team reached the last known whereabouts of Goro, Raiden used his weather manipulating abilities to block out the sun. Since Aztec warriors gain their power from the sun, they would be weakened in battle. Still, Ketz challenged Goro to a one-on-one. Ketz's forces were ambushed by the Red Dragon during the battle, who were using cloaking technology to stay hidden. Weakened without the sun, Goro defeated Ketz, took back Khan's Wrath Hammer, and smashed Ketz's head to pieces with it, killing him. When Kotal received news that his father had been slain by Goro, he became enraged. Kotal cut himself with the Outworld Kamidogu, enhancing his abilities. He rode alone to confront Goro. When Kotal arrived at Goro's location, Rain again attempted to block out the sun, but Kotal's power now came from blood magic. Kotal scorched Rain with a sunbeam that left him very badly injured. Kotal furiously attacked every Red Dragon on his way to Goro, and a fight between the two occurred.
Kotal was more
enraged and empowered, Kotal finished their fight by tearing off one of Goro's arms, followed by dismembering the other three with his sword. Kotal's team, hidden and cloaked by Reptile, then took out the remaining Red Dragon. Goro had been dishonored and begged for Kotal to finish him, but Kotal refused, saying that killing him would be an act of kindness, something that's forbidden in the Shogun tradition. Kotal sent Goro back to his home city of
Oh.
Kuetan in shame. Reiko and Melina managed to escape the onslaught with Rain and a few other Red Dragon members. Shortly after the battle, Kotal was shot by Sonya, who was in Outworld looking for her daughter with Johnny Cage and the Special Forces. Sonya had found Cassie's phone with pictures of Erron Black on it, pursuing Cassie and Jackie. Johnny quickly de-escalated the situation and spoke with Kotal, showing him the picture of Erron Black in pursuit. Kotal claimed that he had never spoken with Kano or the Black Dragon, and that Erron Black only acts as his intermediary. Devora suggested that Erron Black may have been acting out because of the reception they received when Earthrealm failed to cooperate with them. Kotal did not give the order to abduct Cassie and Jackie. Mavado and a few Red Dragon clan members remained behind, eavesdropping on the conversation. Kotal then explained that Erron Black was securing a northern trade route, and that Reptile and Devora could take the Earthrealmers there, unknowing that the Red Dragon was already one step ahead. Mavado and his clan got to Kano, Erron Black, and the Black Dragon before the Earthrealmers could. A battle broke out between them, but the Red Dragon had the numbers. Erron Black freed Cassie and Jackie and told them he could get them out of there, but they would have to fight. Jackie immediately responded by attacking Black after being cut free. Kano took Kotal Khan's portal stone from Black and fled the fight, leaving Black behind. Mavado took advantage of the situation, slashing Black across the chest, leaving him severely injured. Mavado then turned his attention to Cassie and Jackie, telling them Reiko wants them alive. As Mavado lunged at the two, Jackie managed to dodge and put Mavado in a headlock, while Cassie kicked and broke both his shins. Cassie then took one of Mavado's hook swords and slashed him across the gut and chest, spilling out his eternal organs and killing him. Even though they defeated Mavado, there were still too many Red Dragon for them to escape, and Cassie and Jackie were captured again and taken to Shang Tsung's island, where Reiko and Havoc were operating. The Red Dragon tied Erron Black to a tree and left him with a message for Earthrealm and Kotal's forces. Shortly after, Sonya, Johnny, and Kotal's forces found Black, who told them the events that had unfolded and issued this message. They were invited to join Reiko and Havoc on Shang Tsung's island. After traveling for weeks, Takeda and Hanzo found themselves just outside the Sky Temple. Raiden, possessed by the dagger, attacked Hanzo and Takeda, claiming the Kamidogu had opened his eyes and the demon was coming to set them free. Takeda impaled Raiden with Hanzo's katana, which Raiden responded by striking Takeda with a bolt of lightning. Scorpion was able to teleport Takeda away from Raiden and then unleashed his fury upon the Thunder God, claiming that Raiden was responsible for giving him the dagger, killed the Shirai Ryu, and killed Takeda. At that time, Takeda called out to Hanzo, telling him he didn't want to die. Raiden quickly apologized as the curse appears to have been lifted from him. Raiden transported Takeda to the Jinsei chamber, where he healed Takeda. At this time, Raiden explained the Kamidogu daggers to Hanzo and Takeda. Raiden told them that he and Fujin were investigating who had corrupted the daggers. When Hanzo asked who else had the daggers, Raiden told him that all daggers were accounted for except for one, the Kamidogu of the Netherrealm that Raiden had sent Sub-Zero to reclaim so many years ago. Raiden had not seen Sub-Zero since sending him on the mission. Raiden believed whoever was corrupting the daggers had intended to obtain the amulet of Shinnok. Raiden sent Scorpion after Sub-Zero to reclaim the Kamidogu of the Netherrealm. Sub-Zero had been using the dagger on himself to enhance his abilities and escape capture from the pursuing Cyber Lin Kuei. Back in Outworld, Kotal Khan sentenced Erron Black to his dungeon for kidnapping Cassie and Jackie against his wishes and almost starting another war with Earthrealm. Kotal offered his alliance to Earthrealm, saying his swiftest ship will take them to Shang Tsung's island, with a battalion of warriors to save Johnny and Sonya's family. But first, Kotal expected retaliation from the Shokin for what he did to Goro, and Kotal was correct. King Gorbak was not pleased when he saw how Kotal dishonored Goro, and the Shokin marched with Oni warlords for the Outworld city of Zunkara. The Special Forces worked together with Kotal to devise a defense plan in the upcoming Shokin attack. As the Shokin army reached Zunkara, Kotal sent Devora to negotiate terms with Kintaro. On Kotal's behalf, Devora offered a peace treaty with Shokin reparations. But Kintaro declined, saying they do not seek charity and that Kotal Khan has 1 hour to surrender to King Gorbak. Speaking on Kotal's behalf, Devora said they will never surrender, to which Kintaro replied, then Zunkara will fall 1 hour early. The battle began when an Oni warlord charged the city wall, penetrating the city's defenses. The Shokin army attacked, beginning a long, bloody battle that would last several hours and see many Shokin.
I like that we actually get the name of the capital of Shao Kahn's. The capital of Outworld, which is known as Zunkara. That is a very unique name, and I think definitely something that would be in line with Shao Kahn's way of doing things. Zunkara sounds like the kind of name he would use.
In the climax of battle, King Gorbak made his way to Kotal Khan and the two rulers fought. Kotal attempted to sway Gorbak to his side, but Gorbak didn't want to hear it, saying the era of Khans in Outworld ends today and the reign of the Shokin begins. Kotal appeared to be on the verge of defeat. In an act of desperation, he clawed Gorbak's face and reared back for a mighty clap to the king's head, crushing Gorbak's skull and killing him. Without leadership, the Shogun army retreated back to Kwaitan. After the battle, Kotal's forces and the special forces tended to their injuries. With Gorbak now dead, Kotal expected further retaliation from the Shogun. During the Shogun's siege, Scarlet snuck into Kotal's fortress and stole the Outworld Kamidogu dagger, under the orders of Havoc and Reiko. She delivered it to Havoc himself on Song's Island. Back in Kwaitan, Kentaro informed Goro that due to his injuries, he was disqualified from the throne. After the fight against Kotal was over, the Shogun would hold an ancient traditional battle for the crown. Goro asked what would happen if he were to enter, to which Kentaro replied, "Careful, Goro, you're crippled, and your father is not here to protect you." Goro left Kwaitan saying he will return, and when he does, the Shogun Council will beg him for mercy, to which he will show them none. Hanzo and Takeda set out for Kahishari, Japan, in search for Sub-Zero and to retrieve the Kamidogu he had in his possession. When they entered the city, they found frozen
The story's
cyber
overall
liquid
not
ninjas.
bad.
Upon further inspection, they discovered the entire city had been frozen over. They found Sub-Zero with the Kamidogu in hand, under the possession of Havoc. Sub-Zero baited Hanzo to release the power of Scorpion within him. Scorpion hit Sub-Zero with 2 spear attacks, but it barely phased the overpowered Sub-Zero. Scorpion began dodging Kuai Liang's attacks, but eventually the Cryomancer gained the upper hand. Takeda then revealed that he had stolen the Kamidogu from Sub-Zero during the scuffle, but Sub-Zero still had enough blood magic in him to freeze a moment in time. Using all of his power left from the dagger, Sub-Zero emitted a powerful blast,
It's a very
flash freezing everything
interesting
surrounding
story.
him, including Scorpion.
I
and
definitely
Takeda.
think there should be
With the blood
more
magic now purged from him, Sub-Zero was no longer possessed by
that we
Havoc,
should
and had no
actually
recollection of the events that had just
be
occurred.
included in a future
Scorpion broke free
storyline.
from his frozen state and immediately attacked Sub-Zero, who was now trying to reason with him. Sub-Zero said he would return to Raiden with him and explain what had happened, but it was too late for reason, and Scorpion wanted to finish this. He impaled Sub-Zero with 2 swords, removed his hood, and began spewing fire onto him, but was stopped by Takeda before he could finish. Takeda told Scorpion they had what they came for, the Kamidogu, and now he had a choice: to give in to vengeance, which is what Havoc wanted, or to walk away. Takeda and Scorpion walked away, leaving a dying Sub-Zero bleeding out. Sometime later, Sub-Zero was found and revived back to health by everyone's favorite trainer, Bo Raicho. Hanzo and Takeda returned to Raiden, giving him the Netherrealm Kamidogu. With 3 of the 6
No idea why
Kamidogu
he's
in
there,
their
but
possession,
it makes sense.
Raiden ordered Hanzo and Takeda to the Kang Shaolin Temple to retrieve the Chaos Realm Kamidogu from Shujinko, while he would travel to Earthrealm to get the Earthrealm Kamidogu from Jax. Unbeknownst to Raiden, Jax had already been visited by Reiko himself. After a short battle, Reiko put Jax through a wall in his farm, and then threatened Jackie's life unless given the Earthrealm Kamidogu. Reiko attacked Jax's wife Vera and told him that he has the power to make everyone in Jax's life suffer unless he gets the dagger. Jax complied. Vera told Raiden of the news upon his arrival to their farm. Hanzo and Takeda reached the Kang Temple and met with Shujinko, but Shujinko refused to give Hanzo the dagger, claiming that it had already fallen into the wrong hands when Raiden obtained it, and that he cannot be trusted. Shujinko then revealed that his guest, Havoc, had shown him proof of Raiden's treachery. Hanzo recognized Havoc's voice from his encounters with the possessed Forest Fox and Sub-Zero. He accused Havoc of being the demon.
Very interesting. Apologies, I have returned. Now let's continue.
But Shujinko told him to stand down. Havoc claimed this had all been a misunderstanding and asked Shujinko if he could speak with Hanzo alone. Shujinko took Takeda into another room, leaving the two to talk it out. Hanzo told Havoc that Raiden is a lot of things, but he's not a traitor. Havoc responded to Hanzo that if the daggers must be united to unleash the Kamidogu's power, then why was Raiden collecting them all? But Hanzo wasn't buying it and went to take the dagger himself, but found only a decoy. At this time, Havoc revealed himself to be the demon, and a possessed Shujinko attacked Takeda. Hanzo attacked Havoc, shattering his knee, snapping his neck, and pummeling his head into the ground until it became mush. But filled with the power of the Kamidogu and blood magic, Havoc regenerated. Havoc was attempting to unleash Scorpion within Hanzo Hasashi. He beat Hanzo to a pulp and used Takeda as leverage, claiming that he wants Scorpion to join him and liberate the realms from order. Hanzo told Takeda to remember that he always has a choice before Havoc plunged his fist into Hanzo's chest. Takeda escaped Shujinko's grasp and ran to Hanzo's side. Havoc awaited Scorpion, but Hanzo never transitioned and died. Takeda then told Havoc that there was no Scorpion, and Havoc told Takeda to leave unless he wanted to wind up like his master. Takeda responded that he will not rest until Havoc pays for this, to which Havoc replied, "I look forward to that." Takeda then left the King Temple to seek out Raiden alone. Back in Outworld, Kotal was preparing for a second Shokan onslaught and reminiscing with his inner circle, when Kano, Jarek, Tasia, and Tremor suddenly made their entrance. They offered their allegiance to Kotal, for a price of course. As the Shokan approached Zunkara yet again, Kotal issued a challenge to Kintaro to settle this the honorable way, in Mortal Kombat. But Kintaro declined, saying there will be no combat, only fatalities. At that moment, Tremor caused a massive earthquake that stunned the Shokan army. Kano followed up immediately afterward with a mini-nuke that decimated more than half of the Shokan forces. Kotal placed his sword on the back of Kintaro's neck, asking for his surrender. Kintaro replied that the Shokan do not surrender, and asked for the dignity that Goro had been declined. Kotal declined to kill Kintaro, instead stating that the Shokan were never his enemy until Goro had contracted with Mileena and Reiko. He stated that Mileena and Reiko were the common enemy that they shared and offered allegiance in defeating them. Kotal promised to never command the Shokan to surrender, only to fight. Kintaro agreed, and the Shokan became Kotal's newest allies. After the battle, Kano demanded the Red Dragon be paid for their assistance, but Kotal refused. Kano and the Black Dragon had endangered Kotal's alliance with Earthrealm by kidnapping Cassie and Jackie, and for this Kotal believed that they were now even and he owed them nothing. Kano instigated Kotal by ransoming off Kotal's portal stone that he had stolen from Eric Black. Kotal leapt at Kano, broke his arm, and took back the stone, claiming that the stone was not his to ransom. Tremor attempted to retaliate, but was quickly shot by Sonya. Kotal then had the Black Dragon locked away in his dungeon, and told Sonya that he would turn them over to her authority. Kotal's ship was ready, and that night he set sail for Shang Tsung's island with Sonya, Johnny, Devora, and a battalion of Aztec warriors. The Shokan would send a ship to the island as well, but first they held a tournament for the right to rule as the Shokan leader. Shiva emerged victorious and was crowned their queen. Word of Kotal's victories had reached Mileena. Mileena asked Ermac, now back on Team Mileena, to summon Reiko and the Red Dragon from Shang Tsung's island. At that moment, Rain awoke from his injuries. He told Mileena that he had overheard the Red Dragon talking about Reiko's means to betray her for Havoc. Enraged, Mileena gathered the Tarkatan horde and set sail for Shang Tsung's island. When Takeda returned to the Sky Temple, he found Fujin bloody and impaled to the wall. The blood magic possession within Raiden had grown. Raiden had left Fujin to die and took the three Kamidogu with him. Takeda freed Fujin and left him to the Jinsei chamber to heal his wounds. On Shang Tsung's island, Scarlet had taken the two Kamidogu Reiko had in his possession and used them to cut Reiko, binding him with the blood code and granting him and Scarlet immense power. They then used the Kamidogu on their prisoners, Jackie Briggs and Cassie Cage, making them slaves under their possession. Kotal's ship was the first to arrive on Tsung's island. There, Kotal, Devora, Johnny, Sonya, and the Aztec battalion were met on the island shore by Reiko, Scarlet, a possessed Jackie, and Cassie, and the Red Dragon. Sonya tried to reason with Cassie, but to no avail. Cassie attacked Sonya, while Jackie attacked Johnny. Devora and Kotal sliced their way to Reiko and Scarlet. Kotal took on Reiko, while Devora attempted to bleed Scarlet dry. Devora used her toxic blood to incapacitate Scarlet for the moment. She then quickly came to Kotal's aid and lunged at Reiko. But Reiko countered and tore her in half, seemingly killing the Kai-10. While Kotal and Reiko engaged each other once more, a battle horn was heard. The Tarkatan warship had arrived. Mileena, Ermac, and the Tarkatan horde flooded onto the beach. Mileena attacked Scarlet first, telling her Reiko is only loyal to himself, and he will betray her. To which Scarlet replied by calling Mileena jealous, and saying that Reiko had empowered her before blasting Mileena with a blood bubble. Ermac used his telekinetic abilities to hold Scarlet still, while Mileena retaliated with a dropkick, followed by a roll that destroyed both Scarlet's legs. While Kotal and Reiko continued their battle, Ermac telekinetically delivered Shao Kahn's Wrath Hammer to Mileena. With one swing, Mileena smashed Reiko's face in, crushing his skull. But because he was empowered by blood magic, Reiko was not dead. Mileena told Kotal that she would choose to let Kotal live for the time being, so that they can deal with Reiko together. And after he's buried, they will deal with each other. In order to defeat Reiko, Kotal claimed that they must kill him and keep killing him until the power swallows his soul. After Reiko regenerated, Kotal swiped at his knees, dismembering both legs, while Mileena cut open his chest and Ermac decapitated him. Shortly after, Havik made his appearance on the battlefield, immediately followed by the possessed Raiden. Raiden rained red lightning down on all the warriors, incapacitating almost everyone on the battlefield. The remaining Red Dragon soldiers dragged Kotal, Johnny, Sonya, Mileena, and Ermac into Sung's Island Fortress, where Havik would begin a ritual to make Reiko a blood god. Back at the Sky Temple, Fujin's wounds were finally healed by the Jinsei. Takeda suggested the two follow Raiden's trail to Sung's Island, but Fujin informed him that he could not come with. Fujin's duty was to guard the Jinsei. He could not leave this unattended. To aid him in his quest, Fujin gave Takeda a traditional mask of the Shiraryu and arm whips that have since become a character trademark. Inside the island fortress, the champions Kotal, Johnny, Sonya, Mileena, and Ermac were tied down and hooked up to IVs, draining their blood into a chalice that was presented to Reiko. Reiko drank to godliness as Havik and the possessed stabbed him with all the Kamidogu. As the power of blood magic surged through him, Reiko grabbed Havik by the throat, demanding sacrifice to ease his newfound bloodlust. Reiko tried to decide who to execute first, but Havik proclaimed that he needed Johnny and Sonya to study their abilities, and suggested he save the Outworlders to make their execution a public spectacle. Havik then told Reiko that he knew he would demand tribute, so he planned ahead. At that time, he had what was remaining of Mileena's Tarkat horde and Kotal Khan's battalion enter the fortress. In a single powerful blast, Reiko killed them all. The blast was witnessed from sea by the Shokin battleship. Kentaro ordered scouts to the island to report on what was happening. After killing over 100 mortals, Riko's bloodlust still craved more death. Havik told him that there was no one left to kill. Reiko attacked Havik, telling him that Havik never told him about the pain that clawed from within him. Riko's body started twisting and tearing. His insides began emerging from his chest, and his face began to decay.
Well, that's a betrayal.
At this time, it was revealed by Havik that Reiko had been deceived. He was never a candidate for godhood, and his true purpose was only to be a vessel to summon Shinnok's amulet. Havik ripped Reiko's brain from his skull, and upon tearing apart his brain, revealed the amulet of Shinnok. Havik used the amulet to blast the Shokin scouts spying on them, and then sent their dismembered bodies back to Queen Shiva's boat. Soon after, he blasted the Shokin ship, killing all of the Shokin on board, with the exception of Shiva and Kentaro, who survived the swim to shore. On shore, they witnessed a swarm of bugs kill 3 Red Dragon soldiers, and then reconstitute into Devora. Devora told Shiva and Kentaro that with great foresight, Kotal had hid emergency supplies on the island, and that they were going to get them. Havik and the possessed once again used the Kamidogu daggers, this time to possess Kotal, Mileena, Johnny, and Sonya, and began using Ermac's many souls to charge the amulet. Once fully charged, the amulet would be powerful enough
This story
to
is very
punch through Raiden's
interesting.
cosmic arrows,
If
protecting
you do
Earth
not
from
know,
the Netherrealm.
I do
But
much
before he
may
could reach the
consider an
charge,
idea
Havik's
to
hand
have
was sliced
Havik
clean
part
off
of
by
the plot
Takeda's
line.
whip.
Further
Takeda
down the
attacked
line.
Havik but was severely outnumbered 8-1. He was able to take down Jackie and Cassie, but was overpowered by the rest of Havik's possessed champions. Oh, and Havik was able to just kind of reattach his hand back. He can kind of do that thing. Havik gave Takeda a choice. Join him and become an agent of chaos, or be reunited with Hanzo in death. Takeda chose to fight. Before Havik could land his killing blow, his hand was shot by Aaron Black, revealing that Devora used the Portal Stone to transport herself, Black, Shiva, Kentaro, Ferrator, and Reptile to the battle, where they took on Havik and his possessed warriors. Takeda snatched the amulet away from Havik and attempted to use it against him, but was inexperienced with it. Havik then told Takeda he would show him how to use it, and hit him with a blast of the amulet's energy. Now, after Hanzo's death at the hands of Havik earlier, Hanzo found himself fighting against
it's the
Scorpion
best song.
spiritually. It was a long, drawn-out battle that ended with, you guessed it, Hanzo overcoming Scorpion yet again. Because of this, Scorpion
The best final
teleported
boss
to the
song,
island just in
that's what I'm
time
saying.
and tore Havik's head from his body, saving Takeda. Scorpion then teleported away with the Cleric of Chaos's head. While this was
That was
happening,
an
the
easy
fight
way
between
to
the
handle
possessed
this.
and the Outworld warriors raged on. While being overpowered with blood magic, Jackie and Cassie held back Kentaro, and an overpowered Sonya Blade tore Kentaro's head clean off. Almost immediately after this, the effects of Havik's possession wore off, and everyone went back to their normal selves. Don't worry, Sonya apologized to Shiva for killing Kentaro, and Shiva actually accepted, saying that he died a warrior's death. Takeda then tossed the amulet to Raiden, telling him he's lost count of how many people he's watched die to protect the amulet, and to just keep it safe. Melina quickly and silently released Ermac, telling him they can beat Kotal back to the Outworld throne since it is undefended. But Ermac switched sides yet again, telling her that Outworld now needs new leadership. Outworld needs Kotal Khan. Cassie is reunited with her family, and Earthrealm and Outworld make peace with one another. And later on, a non-aggression pact known as the Reiko Accords would be signed between both realms. Sonya offered to guard the Amulet of Shinnok and place it in the protection of the Special Forces, where nobody could ever find it. But, spoiler alert, somebody does find it. When we get back to Earthrealm, Jackie is reunited with Jax and Vera, and Cassie agrees to return to the Special Forces base. As for Scorpion, he brought Havoc's head to the Netherrealm and tossed it at Malak and Draman for torture, telling them to make it slow. Draman claimed that they have not forgotten how Scorpion betrayed Quan Chi, and the two Oni attacked him. But Scorpion managed to escape his pursuers and return to the Shiraiyu headquarters, where Takeda had just finished a memorial for the clan. Quan Chi, furious at Havoc's failure, stomped on the cleric's skull, crushing him and apparently killing the Chaos Realmer. Chi told Malak and Draman that Havoc had proven to be unreliable, and that he should commend the two for delivering his head, but that they too had also proven to be unreliable. He then had Revenant Katana kill Malak, and he himself killed Draman. Now we're going to go to a different location in Pura Bretan Valley. The thief known as Kung Jin delivered a stolen flash drive to Bo Raicho and Kuai Liang. The drive contained the virus to shut down the cyber Lin Kuei. Sub-Zero and Bo traveled to the Lin Kuei's headquarters, and while Sub-Zero infiltrated the base, Bo Raicho remained outside to take out any machines that tried to escape. Inside, Sub-Zero uploaded the virus that removed the Lin Kuei's slaving protocols, giving Cyrax back his free will. Together, Cyrax and Sub-Zero took down Sector. With Sector the Central Master now defeated, Cyrax became the new Central Master for the Cyber Lin Kuei. Cyrax told Sub-Zero if anyone could return the Lin Kuei to its former glory, it was Kuai Liang. Cyrax thanked Sub-Zero and then initiated the auto-destruct sequence, telling Sub-Zero that he is the Master now and to make it count. The Cyber Lin Kuei HQ exploded and Sub-Zero emerged with Sector's head. A few weeks later at the new Lin Kuei Palace in Arctica, Sub-Zero was confronted by Frost while meditating. Frost told Sub-Zero that Raiden had invited her to a tournament to join the new Lin Kuei, and that she and a number of warriors had come to audition and show off their abilities. Sub-Zero told them to follow him, and the rebuilding of the new Lin Kuei began. Now the comic series ends with Goro showing up at the Red Dragon stronghold demanding to see Dagon. Goro tells Dagon that he studied Red Dragon lore about the Dragon King Onaga and his regenerative abilities. When Dagon asks Goro why he should help him, Goro reveals the bloodied and beaten body of Kenshi, who the Red Dragon had been hunting for years. Hey, thanks for watching. I know this video ran a little long, but that's because there was a ton of lore to cover. In my next video, we'll go over how Goro got his arms back and the events that happened in the 5-year gap between the Mortal Kombat X comics and the present-day Mortal Kombat X story. If you liked what you saw here, it would mean a great deal to me if you could give my video a big ol' thumbs up, and if you like learning more about Mortal Kombat lore and story, be sure to subscribe to my channel, MK Temple. Until next time.
Okay. Well, that is the end of the video, and first I'm going to say how completely interesting. Now, there are some stuff, of course, I don't like them killing off 3D era characters just for kills. That's not my favorite part, of course, but I won't lie, it was very much way better than anyone would have expected it to be. I know the Fourth Snake has done a video on this before, but my perspective is that it's an interesting story to take. Like, it's one of the things I wanted to do was have a plotline with Havoc. Similar to Defenders of the Realm, of course. Does this fit Havoc's personality and character? Kind of. Not as great as I would like it to fit him, but it's close enough in the ways they count. Also, just to say, I am going to be doing a video on this, but MK1 MK12 specifically, that is not Havoc. It is not Havoc, it's Darius. Because Havoc, if you watch Deception, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Havoc is very soft spoken. His voice is very mysterious for someone who's of chaos. Like, he speaks like this. And I will teach you the art of chaos. He speaks like a serpent more so, and it's much more interesting this way. I think they missed out upon this. Definitely missed out upon it. And I definitely think this video of the MKX comics overall were just a very interesting comic book to listen to. It's like, it has a very interesting story, it has interesting lore, there's a lot of intrigue behind it, and I actually like it. So, I want to say thank you for the suggestion. If anyone else has a suggestion, if you want me to react to the MK2, MK1 prequel comics, I'll be more than willing to do so. Without further ado, this was the MKX comics. Now the story has very much good to go off of. The story is very much as prevalent as I wanted it to be. It's certainly an interesting story and definitely ties more itself with the best parts of NetherRealm storytelling. It is unique and fascinating. Havoc is not completely in character, but you know what? It's way better than what he was in. It's way better than what he was in 12, I guess. 12 Havoc is alright and all, but he doesn't feel like the Cleric of Chaos like he did previously. He feels more like a guy who is just obsessed with destroying Order Realm. The MKX comics have a lot of intrigue, like the plotline is very interesting, the story is very interesting, and I personally am fascinated to have seen where the story would have gone if they were able to continue the story. Without further ado, I like to say I think this video has gone on long enough discussion about the MKX comics, and I truly appreciate everyone who views my videos. If you like this content, feel free to like and subscribe. If you don't, thank you for watching anyways. As always, God bless you all. See you in the next video.